ISPO 2019. We're here with Philip from Fjallraven. Philip, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Tell me a little bit about your range that you want to speak about today.
Yes. So if you followed Fjallraven the last couple of seasons and years, you might have heard that we put a lot of focus on our wool. We use a lot of wool in different products, and we try to make the source chain as transparent as possible. So we try to go back to the source where we source the raw material, understand how the animals live, that they're treated right, and really try to be as close as possible to really farm level and be able to tell where the wool is coming from, which is quite unusual. So it's kind of hard to really go down to the level of farms where the wool comes from. Usually you source it on the free market and don't know exactly where it comes from.
It's unusual, but it's quite topical at the moment, isn't it? Everybody's talking about, is it ethically sourced? Where's this wool come from?
Yeah.
So what products do you have that?
Yeah, we focused a lot on our core consumer, the trekking consumer. And since we're a Swedish brand, close to our heart is of course the Scandinavian way of trekking, which is long distances with the backpack, with the tent, etc. And if you're out in the wilderness in Sweden, you need to have material that you can really rely on. So it might not be the lightest or most technical stuff, but it's a timeless piece and that's really durable, so you can really rely on it. And that's pieces within the Singi range that we introduced or revamped for this season.
Oh, great. So show me something. I want to get my hands on something. Can we look at this one?
Oh, of course. This is, we use different types of wool, and this wool that we're using here is a merino wool. It's a supplier called ZQ, and this makes us able to trace down where we source the wool to a farm level. So we can really tell for each piece that this is the farms where we got the wool from.
Yeah, okay.
That's one of the wool qualities that we use. We also have wool project that we started a couple of years ago in Sweden with Swedish sheep, and it's a farm called Bratlandsgarden.
Yeah.
They started with a really small herd of sheep. And that was kind of a pilot project for us to really understand the needs and the demands that we also need to put on our suppliers for wool. And it was a really kind of small project with a little small output, so we only had 70 sweaters and now have just a few beanies because it's such a small herd. So we tried to find a solution that we can scale up and get more wool for other projects and products. And we came up with wool from Italy, which is recycled wool. So wool that is either from old garments that have been recycled or is spillover wool from production. And in Italy you have a lot of producers of suits.
Yeah.
And the spillover wool from the cuttings, together with the wool from recycled garments, is shredded, color sorted, and then you can mix the different colors that you have together to new colors. So you kind of avoid another dyeing process and have wool, really high quality wool that's recycled, so it's actually made from trash.
So what do I get to wear that's made of that?
That's the Canada wool padded jacket that we have over here. We can take a look at it.
So I get to wear a jacket that's made of Italian suit material?
Exactly. And
nice.
And it's even more interesting because on that jacket you can show it. Exactly. So on the outside we have the recycled wool, so the Italian wool made from spillover material. And then a special thing that we have in the Canada wool padded jacket, but also in a trekking jacket in the Singi family, the Singi wool padded parka, is actually what we call recovered wool.
Okay.
And recovered wool is wool that would have been thrown away. So you can either have sheep for meat or you have sheep for wool. So either the meat is good or the wool is good. And in Sweden you have a lot of sheep bred for meat. And it's a kind of a burden to have all this wool because there's no price tag on it. You can't sell it
because it's poor quality.
It's not a good quality to really make a garment out of it.
Okay.
So this wool was burnt, thrown away, and gone to waste. And we don't see this as waste because it has all the great features of wool. It's odor resistant, biodegradable, it wicks away moisture. So we spent a lot of thoughts on how we can make use of that wool instead of throwing it away. And we found a solution that's an alternative to a down filling or to the fossil fuel-based insulation. And we came up with the wool. So this wool we use to have a nice insulation.
Well,
it's
a
and
bit
padding.
big for me, but
Yeah, it's the man's
pretty
version.
nice.
But
So I get to wear some ethically sourced, sustainable products. Thanks very much.
You're welcome.